My goodness. Hello, loves. My name is Josie. Welcome to 50 Essentials. If you're new to my channel, this is another black screen moment. I'm multitasking. I am resting and I'm going live at the same time. This is me resting. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go live. Check in on people and find out what's been going on, pretty much. I think this is the most time that I've had to myself in days. So we shall see. We shall see what the business is. There we go. I was about to say. I said, y'all can't forget about me. I've been sucked back into the massage therapy world. So I have to make my presence known every now and again. Hey, you do what you gotta do, right? I'm out here working, making sure I can make up for all of the stuff that needs to be. No! I gotta. There we go. Anyway, for all that time, all of that pause, that whole period of time that I know a lot of us went through where nothing was happening and crap was piling up, and now all of that crap that piled up has to be corrected and balanced out. So, yep, that's what I've been up to. I've been a body mechanic. That's how I felt. I felt like a mechanic during the Mercury retrograde. But it was bodies instead of cars. Yep. I figured if I go live and I ask questions and I see what people have been dealing with, that it would do what it normally does and put things into perspective for those of us who need that. Because there's always someone who's going through something worse than you, or what you would perceive to be worse than you. And there was a point, because I've got Mars, y'all, okay? I got Mars in my 4th house, and it's leaving on the 28th. I'll be so glad. I think it's leaving on the 28th. Either way, go soon. Mars is leaving my 4th house, and I will be so happy when it does, because my poor little house been dragged. It's been dragged. And I had a moment of grounding when I had one of my son's friends visit, and he was just expressing how he would love to have his own home. So while I'm over here drowning in responsibility, I've got this young person that would love to own a home, right? And I'm on the opposite spectrum. I'm sitting here like, man, this is too much. This is a lot, right? So it kind of put me back into that space of gratitude for what I have. But that doesn't take away the reality that you've got to be ready to receive whatever you're manifesting, And then there's times where things might be working out because you have all of the things in place, and then something happens, and then some of those things are not in place anymore, and you have to switch to manual. And that can be a lot on you. Hey, Ascension Brother. Was watching a joy invoking interview. I'm back from the behavioral health hospital a couple of days ago, waiting on developing the energy of action, enjoying going into dreams. Let me tell you, I totally understand, and healing to you. I'm I'm telling y'all, there was a point where I had posted on social media for people to not like reach out to me, and prayers were appreciated. And in those moments, I find out who's paying attention and who's not, right? Because one of my children was going through the same thing as you, and he was in the hospital. And I had a lot going on. That whole week was crazy. Um, so I'm still dealing with the aftermath of that. And also, of course, the maintenance that has fallen behind on my home. Um, I knew that that Lionsgate energy was going to be potent, but what I wasn't expecting was what was going to happen afterwards. Because I think it was the moment that Chiron went retrograde that really got to people, as far as that opportunity to really dig deep and get to the root of some issues. That came like really hard, because all of a sudden it was time to address things that had been ignored for like a little while. All of a sudden, it's like, we're going to do this now. Let's go through a psychological boot camp. Bam. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, wow, great. You know what I'm saying? You had to rise to the occasion, or literally become victimized all over again, literally. And then it was your choice to either do something with the energy or not. This definitely, this energy was not made for the weak. Not at all. So if you asked for help during this past 3 weeks, if you've surrendered to the healing process, if you've let go of some things, some thoughts, you are quite a strong individual. Okay? If you let go of control and you just said, okay, this is what's presenting itself. Let's see what happens. Let's let this express. And you explored in that energy. You deserve all the blessings and manifestations that you are trying to bring in, because you are actively making room for them. Because there's some people that are healing things way back from their past, a long time ago, because of Saturn, that had been keeping them from achieving higher potentials, and they didn't even know it. Like that 1-2 punch with Saturn and Mercury being retrograde and then Chiron in the mix. Oh my goodness. It was like, hey, that thing you ignored and stuffed down when you were like 3 years old. let's go ahead and finally get rid of that now. Let's transmute that into something we can use here, and so we can get on with our lives and live our best life. I know a lot of us have had that choice right now to literally step up or shut up, because that's the energy that has been present. It's like, I hear you talking, but and then there's nothing. So I feel like we were all just kind of put in a very pressurized position to see what we were going to choose to do in those moments. I had a lot of victories in the middle of the chaos. A lot of things to be grateful for, and moments where I was humbled, right? Um, but also, I I had a lot of moments where I wanted to just say, you know what, I'm done. I want to throw in the towel. I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to go be free and go, like I was in 2020, 2019. I just want to go travel. Let's get rid of all of this thing that I'm doing right now. Let's go back to camping and traveling. Because I just didn't want to deal with the one thing after another popping up, and then all of the responsibilities. That's what we have, right? We have the ability to respond. And I don't know. I don't know, you know. It's been rough. It has been respectfully rough. But I can't say that it's not getting better, because it is. It's so crazy because everything happened all at once. Like, the shackles were released at the same time as, manifestations coming in, at the same time as new responsibilities, because you're being placed in new positions and receiving new things now. Like, people want stuff. They want the car, they want the house, they want to travel. There's always some level of responsibility, right? With everything that you want, you've got to ask yourself, am I willing to do all the things to get it? Am I willing to do all of the things to maintain it, to keep it? Like, you got to think about the end in the beginning, because if you don't, you will get caught up and smacked around. Seriously. So, like, and then if you think about the end in the beginning when you're manifesting, and you realize, man, that seems like a lot of work, then you get to reevaluate why you want it in the first place. And then it kind of turns into a healing moment where you're like, man, I wanted this for a whole reason that has nothing to do with this thing that I wanted. This is not going to fix that. Like, the holes of the rabbits, the halls, they just go and they go and they go. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I've been very quiet, only because I've been doing a lot of massage and just doing that physical work. There's a lot of conversations I had not been able to have right now. If somebody was to ask me about astrology or anything, like, my brain is taxed out, especially because I have to do a lot of paperwork with what I do. So it's been mostly medical stuff in my brain. But once everything calms down and I finish completing all of the tasks at hand, I feel like I'll be able to breathe and let some information in, other than what I'm highly focused on. I'm a 1 foot in front of the other person. So everything feels like pressure if it has nothing to do with me bringing solutions to my life right now. Everything else feels confusing and difficult. I'm just like, mm-mm, nope, no space for that. Gotta get this done. Gotta get this done. And I know I'm not the only one. Like right now, it's a genuine feeling, but I know it's not the truth. But I can't be worried about social media and YouTube. We have these times where we are dealing with stuff right in front of us. So I was like, oh, let me hop on here and say something. But that's kind of all I got right now. I thought about doing another set of readings, but I don't have it. I don't have it. And it's okay. I know there's a lot of us who are in this position. We ain't got it. But it doesn't mean that we're not receiving what we need. You know, we're being guided and assisted in this process. So if we have to take a break from that thing, from those people, it's okay. Because you got to focus on what is pouring into you right now. And this is for all of us. You got to be brave enough to say no. You got to be brave enough to focus on what is filling your cup. You know? I'm only talking to you right now because I want to. It's not that I have all of this abundant energy to do the most. But something in my spirit said, you know what? Hop on there, say something. You don't have to do readings. You just have a conversation. And that's what I'm doing. You know. Hey, Gracie. Yeah, you just gotta surrender. Because that's where the strength is. That's where the wisdom is. When you surrender, boy, you see a lot of stuff. You realize a lot of things. Especially for people who think the worst easily. And you realize, oh, you know, it's not as painful as I thought. It's not as horrible as I thought. Or you realize you gained something from surrendering. You realize there was more to what you thought was going on. Like right now, there are people out there that are literally 100% thrown into victimhood. Okay? And I'm not pointing fingers and saying, oh, put your big girl panties on and handle your business. No. They're thrown into victimhood right now in order to get themselves out of it. But that's going to require them being put on an island. So what's going to happen is they're going to express that victimhood and create distance between them and other people. And then they're going to be stuck on that island, and eventually they're going to have to work their shit out, right? But then there's other people that the same energy is hitting them, and they're like, okay, I see you. Let me look at my toolbox. They're approaching it like, okay, this chair is squeaky. I know what to do. Let me get a screwdriver and tighten this chair. So you got a few different sets of people out there. You got some that are literally running off of magician energy. They see the issues come up. They know they have the tools, and they start to execute where they can execute. And then you have those who have absolutely no idea what to do about anything. because they're not supposed to know yet. But I don't think anybody is having the best, most smooth and easy time. I haven't. Nobody's said anything about this being a great time. It'd be great to see though. I'm not gonna just leave it out. But it's been very eye opening too. But we knew. That's what I was thinking about this the other day, the number 8 year. I wanted to remind everybody this is a number 8 year, right? And that number 8 is not just about infinity or transformation, right? That number 8 also talks about things unseen. It talks about that 0 point energy, that creation energy, um, everything secretive, right? So this is why so many things are being found out right now. We're in a number 8 year. And then when you think about the eighth house in the zodiac, you're talking about sex, death, and rebirth, right? And all of those themes are being, like, the truth behind those themes is being expressed out in the world. You see, you're finding out things that happened a long time ago, cover ups and all kinds of craziness is happening. Like you're getting the information that wasn't available to you before, and the reason you're getting that information now is because it's time and they could no longer hold it. It can no longer be held because the amount of light has reached those things. The light is on now. You can see um, secrets and things done in the dark eventually come to the light. And that's what this whole year is about. But it doesn't mean that that's all it's about. It's also about resources. You know, what is your relationship to the energy of resource? Are you the type of person that is resourceful, or would you say that you don't know how to be resourceful? As if you didn't know, this year taught you how to be resourceful. I'm just saying. So yeah, with all of these retrogrades and this number 8, everything is literally pushing that 0 point creation in the void, in the chaos energy, because something brand new is coming out of it. And it's going to be beautiful. You've got to be able to see the beauty. So this is a universal 8 year, and next year 2025 is a universal year 9. So all of the chaos and commotion settles, right? It's going to settle next year. Everything that was in flux is going to find its place. But what that also means is that when those things find their place, the things that were in the place before will no longer be there. So that's going to represent the endings of the number 9. Because in order for all of the things that are in flux to find their place, the other things have to end or be removed in some kind of way. So that number 9 is about coming full circle, closing whole cycles. So you're going to notice in 2025 a whole bunch of full circle events a whole bunch of, oh, that makes sense. So this is why. You're going to find, and it's simple, like scenarios. You could have a company that had all the news and all this and that, all this crazy stuff going on with the company in 2024 that you heard about, right? And then in 2025, that company either completely closes down or merges with another company. And you're like, you think back to 2024 and you're like, that's what was going on. I'm telling you, like, there's a whole process of elimination going on right now, but you'll actually see it next year. So don't be surprised if a lot of mergers get completed from October of this year. Moving forward, you're going to hear a lot about companies merging or companies just completely closing. But it doesn't mean that they're gone, because what I understand about that is a lot of these big companies are umbrella companies, and they'll just shut down one of their smaller companies because they're bringing something new online and it just wasn't compatible at all. Like, they could not transform that one. So they had to make something completely new or compatible. Compatibility is going to be a big theme as well um, in 2025. It's going to be all about what's compatible. I don't know what technology is about to do, but we're about to find out a lot of stuff. And oh, all of those people who be getting the latest phones and the latest technology, the TV, the computer, you're going to be mad because we're. I love how I did not intend on talking about any of this and it just came out. Okay. But you're going to be mad though, because there's going to be this moment where you thought everything was just kind of going on an even keel, and then there's going to be this pivot, and a lot of whatever software, whatever technology, like there's going to be a whole group of it that's thrown out because this new thing came out mainstream, and now everybody's having to switch over to that if they want to have certain capabilities. Thank you, Uranus. Because Uranus and Pluto, I will blame them for that. Um, there's about to be a pivot in technology and software to where, like, if I were y'all, I would wait until at least the end of the first quarter of 2025 before I like buy a new phone or new computer. And I'm not talking to everybody. I'm talking about the people who like to have the very latest stuff. If you absolutely have to because yours broke or whatever, yeah, sure. But for the people who are picky about having the latest technology, the latest software, wait till the end of the first quarter of 2025 before you make that purchase, because you're going to be so mad. Okay? Because there's going to be a shift that happens with that. Wow. We're starting 2025 off with a huge technology and software bang. What are they cooking up? Interesting. But yeah, we're here. We're in the trenches. We're walking over those hot coals. And how you decide to respond to it is up to you. It's just for you. And it's in your own time. But that doesn't mean that people are going to wait for you and you can let them go. It's okay. Everyone in their own time. Hey love, how you doing? So yeah, spirituality and technology and software is gonna be like a big thing in 2025. I don't know what's happening, but hey, when I receive the messages, I give them to you. But there's going to be such a symbiosis with technology and spirituality, okay? And I don't want you to think of it in a physical way like, oh, like you're merging physical technology and physical software with spiritual energy. No, because being able to meditate, the way that your chakras operate is already a technology, like, but it's a more of a organic, like, technology. So what I feel like the message is that there's going to be a boom in more creations of spiritual tech. And that's stuff like med beds. That's stuff like, energy medicine type technology, you know. Um, like EE systems and their scalar technology. Like there's gonna be more things coming out that are powered by individuals on a spiritual journey, spiritually creating, you know. I don't know what's going to happen with how I don't even know how tuning forks can be any different than what they are, but apparently they're going to be some some tuning forks that come out that are more than what they already are. Wow, that's interesting. I mean, you know, I can say that and then, find out, of course, right? Because what more can you do with a tuning fork? Apparently more, because somebody's doing it, and we're going to see it soon. I feel like we're being springboarded into a lot of things that are going to be created that are going to accelerate our healing, like on a physical level. Like we're moving more into the sci-fi type living, but it's still not going to be exactly like the movies you've been watching. But believe me, a lot of technology is going to come out that you've been seeing in the movies, though. It's just not exactly how it is in the movies. Wow. I wasn't expecting to say any of that. So hey, if you're an investor, you better start watching them. Excuse me, and this is not financial advice, just so you know. You can do what you want. But start observing these tech companies and these medical companies, especially when they merging together and working together. I'm just saying, something's up with that. Tech and medical, and then there's the spirituality part as well. It's like a trifecta. Think about it, like technology, medical, and spirituality. What? It's literally like cyber wellness. I mean, they're about to be doing some things. We're about to be doing some things. There's some systems that are going to be utilized that you're like, whoa. And some of them have already been being utilized. It just wasn't public knowledge. And then what's going to happen is when they go mainstream, they're going to be utilized for different reasons than they were before. Again, I feel like technology, AI, and shit is gonna keep trying to do all of the things that we're able to do organically as spiritual beings. And you're gonna see that. It's gonna be interesting. Because some of those things will amplify what you're doing, and some of those things will just be simply trying to mimic what you're doing. You know, our healers and all of our amazing light workers out there. Some of these technologies will be complementary, and others will just be there trying to, like, literally replace the organic version. So, fun times. We get to experience that. Mm-mm-mm. But yeah, I've been running off at the mouth about this awesome new stuff we're apparently going to be experiencing in that number 9 year, 2025. It's, I'm telling y'all right now, don't expect nothing to get any more like just you you got to adapt the attitude of bring it on. Because if you try to stick with the attitude of find some chill, you're going to be frustrated. Adapt the attitude of bring it on, because there is no chill. There is no low key. Everything's going to be high key. This is why you've got to make sure you take care of yourself and you have the energy and the stamina. And most of all, the mental fortitude, right? Reinforce your mind, because it's gonna get messed with, okay? I'm just saying. Wow. So yeah, I'm gonna let y'all go with that one. Thank you for joining me for another black screen moment. And this was not intended to be an energy check-in, but it makes for a fun replay. And I'm gonna leave the title how it is and just find out who actually watched it in the comments. Oh man. Yeah. Y'all stay safe out there and love on yourself. Okay? Talk to you soon.